Dreadlocks require maintenance, bro. They do. And whether you want to agree or disagree with me, it's up to you. But they do require maintenance. Unless you want to look like the homeless people on the streets, I mean, that's cool. But obviously you clicked on this video because you want to know how to make sure they're good looking and taken care of. You know, one mistake that most people make is they think that just because your hair is actually getting locked and it's like, and it looks fine, that you don't actually have to do anything for it. If you go on TikTok, you will see people saying, I've done nothing to my locks and they are just fine. But that's the issue, is like, they're not just fine. They're suffering, bro. Like, trust me when I tell you this, they are not fine. So today I'm going to be giving you guys 5 essential tips to make sure your dreadlock journey is good and that your locks are doing amazing so that they could look amazing, you feel me? But before we get into the video, if you could do me a favor, go hit that subscribe button, you feel me? Join the Too Smooth fan. Good dreadlock content, you already know. Simple as that. Just got the fresh cut too. My stuff looking nice, real crisp right now, you feel me? Anyways, let's get straight into these essential tips that you guys need to know.
Hair content, how you make this hair so look. We all got matching movies right now. This game could be turned into a movie, bro.
Make sure you like and subscribe down below.
Alright, the first thing that is essentially important to know, like when starting your dreadlock journey. Matter of fact, you need to know this before you start your dreadlock journey. And this is just something that I've learned based off experience. You need to make sure that when you get your locks, you know what size. For one, you need to know what size locks you want. 2, you need to make sure like the parting is correct and it's how you want it. You got to understand that I have freeforms, right? So obviously I didn't do that like aspect, you feel me? But like this is how I wanted my hair. But for most people, let's say they want thicker locks. They don't realize that until it's too late, and they already have the parting so that they're smaller, thinner locks, and it's not gonna look how you want it to. I'm not gonna tell you which one looks better, because I mean, it's all up to personal preference. But you feel me? If you want bigger locks, make sure that you're getting your bigger locks parted initially, or else you're gonna have to start intertwining them and doing like the two things that I have. And I mean, they're cool, but like I said, if that's not what you want, and it's not what you want, you feel me? So that's just that. So yeah, the first thing is just making sure you know how you want your locks to look in the long run, because that's the whole idea of getting the right retwist and the right twist in the first place, you feel me? The second thing is letting your hair collect too much oil. So if you guys know me, you know I make sure I oil my hair with the like good oils that are essential, and I moisturize my hair with the essential moisturizers that I need to make sure my hair is nice. And we'll get into that later because that's part of an essential aspect. But this aspect is people don't wash their hair enough. For one, they don't wash their hair enough. 2, they like overdo it with putting stuff in, and so what happens is your hair collects oil, which then it collects dirt, it collects all this nasty stuff, and it makes your locks gross, you feel me? It may not, like, you may not see it, but you know what, when you touch the hair, your hands, you feel me, you're gonna feel it. And matter of fact, you are gonna see it. You might have to get a little closer, but you're gonna see it, and it doesn't look good. You're gonna see all the dandruff, you're gonna feel all the oil, and it's not good for your hair in general. Imagine like you didn't even have the locks. I know that was just your normal hair. That's not good for any kind of person's hair. So that's what I'm saying. When you're to the point where hair is too oily, you need to wash it, and you need to make sure that it's not oily. If you need to, do a detox. I just recently started doing my detox mainly because I hadn't looked into it too much. But like, I mean, even beforehand, I was washing my hair and making sure like the oil was straight. But like, it's to the point where my hair is longer and it's collected more, you feel me? So the detoxes are necessary. I think I'm to the point where it's like 2 detoxes a year, you feel me? One in the beginning of the year, one in the middle of the year, and you're good. Make sure you still wash it when necessary. And at that point, you don't have to worry about all the collected oil. It stunts growth, it messes up your hair, it makes breakage easier. It'll make your locks start thinning out. And like, if you look at my hair, right? See, look how thin my, look at how little my stuff is. I say, you know, my stuff is healthy because there's such little room for it to actually grow. Like you see what I'm saying? Like it's so easy for this to thin out, but it's not thinning out because my hair is strong. I take care of it. Trust me, you will notice a difference. Third one is not letting your hair get too dry. You know what happens when your hair gets too dry? Just like when you overdo it with the oil, like it messes up your hair. When your hair gets too dry, breakage, like it just breaks at the roots. You know what happens? Like when you're twisting them, it gets thinner, and you don't want that. Who wants their locks to start doing that? Nobody does. You feel me? And so you gotta make sure that it's not getting too dry. One way I make sure my hair isn't dry is by using my moisturizers and waters, and you feel me? Using that stuff. This aspect, like honestly, ties into the whole concept of having too oily hair. It's all about having a balance between these two essential aspects of a good dreadlock journey. You need to make sure that your hair is not too oily and too moisturized and like too dry. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, it's just both ends of the spectrums. It's gonna give you issues for your hair and your locks in the long run. It's not gonna be nice. So make sure that your hair is not staying dry, because your locks will thin out and it's not gonna be nice when you gotta get rid of a few of them. All right, the fourth tip is actually a very important one, and that is not over twisting or having too many retwist sessions. So I'm not a professional when it comes to every dreadlock style and how many retwists you need to do, but you can kind of get an idea of when you need a retwist. Me personally, because of how my locks are, I have so many locks and I just let them grow, and because they're a little bit thinner, I do it like twice a year. And it sounds absurd, but you feel me? It's different for each person. Now, if you look at someone else, matter of fact, I'm gonna find a picture. I'll put it right here. If you find someone like this, or if your hair is like this, you might need a retwist every 2 to 3 months, which makes sense because the hair is different. Now, that's why it is so important to understand. And I mean, you could talk to other people, like the person that's giving you the retwist. Ask them, they might know. They might give you the wrong information, which, I mean, at that point, I mean, it sucks because they're doing the retwist to your hair. But you feel me? Ask them to make sure, because retwists are very essential. And if you let your hair grow for too long, right? So let's say you went about a year with no retwist, it's gonna be one hell of a retwist when you need to. They might even have to cut certain parts, because what happens is at the roots they start combining, and it doesn't do you any good, and it's not gonna help your journey at all. It's not something you want. Trust me on that one. Trust me on that one. So what I would do is ask the person who is twisting your hair, or if you're like me and you have freeforms and you do it yourself, which I feel like a lot of you guys are. If your hair's thinner and it's more like mine and you got a lot of locks, do it like twice a year, right? Do it like a week after you do your detox. So what you'll do is you'll detox, you'll moisturize, give it a couple days, a little bit more moisturizer, because you know when you detox, it really dries out your hair. And then retwist your hair, and then boom, you're good for another 6 months. But let's say you use the sponge method just like I did, and you had a bigger sponge with bigger holes, and your locks are a little bigger. Every 4 months works. You feel me? Like you gotta understand that the bigger they are, might be the sooner. If they're smaller like mine, you obviously don't want to do it too often. Do not do it too often, because your locks will thin out and they'll be gone. You feel me? So make sure you keep that in mind. All right, last thing that you need to keep in mind for getting good, nice, healthy dreadlocks and having the good journey. Before we get into this last tip, please go and like the video, because you're obviously still with me, so you feel me? Go like the video, please do me a favor, and be supportive of the channel. Anyways, let's get into the fifth essential thing that you need to keep in mind. That is not over dyeing your hair. More specifically, over bleaching it. I've seen a few people who have over bleached their locks, and it totally just ruins them, and then you have to restart. And honestly, this is for any hairstyle. If you over bleach it, your hair dies, it breaks. Like, it's not good for your hair. And what people might think when they got locks is like, oh, it don't apply to me because I have locks, like it works different. No, it don't work different. Hair is still hair at the end of the day. If you're gonna bleach it, make sure that your hair is actually in a healthy state before you bleach it, which the person bleaching your hair will probably let you know. Most people will not even bleach your hair if it's unhealthy. But let's say you decide to do it on your own, make sure it's in a good state, and make sure you don't over dye it, because you know what happens is, it, like I said, it breaks it. Make sure that if you want it really bleached, that you split it up into multiple sessions or 2 sessions or whatever, so that it gives your hair time. And make sure that your hair is in the right state. Your locks need to be in a good state for them to be rebleached. Now that you guys have the 5 essential tips, you guys are ready to start your dreadlock journey. And if you don't know where to start, go to my channel. I will put you on with the best way to get locks. Freeform, semi-freeform locks with only using a sponge, you feel me? If you guys have any more questions, let me know down below. And if I see a repeated question, I will make another video in response to it to make sure you guys are actually getting an authentic response, you feel me? Anyways, I will catch you guys in another video. Make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for more content. Anyways, I'll see you later. Peace.